Okay, I'm going to make a video that's going to show you how to put refrigerant into your system, and it's into a running system. And so I needed to have 4.5 ounces for extra line length. My line length was longer than it was set up for, and so I needed 4.6 ounces, but it's between 4.4 and 4.6, so that's what I need to do. But I always try to err on the side of caution. I always put in half whatever they tell me to put in, and then check it and see how it's working. And if I accomplish what I wanted without adding the whole extra, I do that because, again, what you realize, and I think you've heard before, is the compressor on a mini split is designed to only have vapor go through it. Never, nothing else besides a high pressure vapor. The accumulator sits right next to the compressor. It's hooked on, kind of, sort of. We're kind of bolted together. The accumulator it protects the compressor. It holds the extra refrigerant in it and releases the high pressure vapor through it. But if you overload your accumulator by putting in too much refrigerant, it'll have no choice but to rise and then dump liquid refrigerant into your compressor. It'll just bog it out and kill it, possibly. You know, it won't be good for it for sure. So anyway, it's possible it'll kill it. So don't want to do that. So I always err on the side of caution and I always go about half, especially when we're dealing with ounces like that. So I'm dealing with 4 ounces, 4.5 ounces. So I do around 2 ounces. Okay. Then I check it, and if it looks like it could take a little more, then I go ahead and add a couple more. So we'll see how that goes today. That's the plan, and then we'll see how I actually pull it off. I look at different things and see if it'll work, and we'll go from there. But each time you're supposed to do it according to the manufacturer specs every time. You don't just go wing it and add a refrigerant to your system, because if your system is not working correctly and you don't have a leak, all you're doing is adding extra refrigerant to the accumulator, and it can't take extra. It can't take a whole lot of extra for sure. A couple ounces and it'll be gone. It raises up and then dumps in liquid refrigerant into your compressor and you're screwed. So you didn't accomplish what you're hoping, which is to fix your mini split. So what the manufacturer always says is, recover your refrigerant, put it into a recovery bottle, and weigh it out. Okay, so you weigh out your refrigerant and you go, okay, so I was supposed to have 33.6 ounces, and there's 33.6 ounces. Now you automatically answered a whole bunch of questions you could have had. Well, number one is you don't need to add a refrigerant. You have all the refrigerant in there, and it wasn't working. So now there's something else wrong. That's the whole point. But if you just add a refrigerant to it, now you've exacerbated the damn thing, and now there's all kinds of more problems, because if it wasn't a refrigerant problem, you just added more problems to your mini split, all right, by screwing up the accumulator and the compressor. So anyway, always do what the manufacturer says, which is to recover it all, weigh it all, and then do it if you're having a problem with your mini split. I wasn't having any problems with my mini split. I just needed to add a couple more ounces because of the extra line length. But if you have having problems, contact me. Let's work through those problems. There could be at least 11 different problems it could be, and we'll work through each and every one. Okay? Just make sure we got it. I don't want you adding refrigerant, especially willy-nilly. Oh, I got some. I'm just going to put some in. Don't do that. You can cause problems. All right? If you have any questions, put them down below. Okay, so after determining that I want to add 2 ounces to this system, I'm going to go ahead and I have it zeroed out, but I have to turn on open the bottle, and you have to have the bottle upside down because the R410A is a blend refrigerant. It has 2 different refrigerants in it. I think it's Y1234 and R32. It's a blend of the two, and the only way you can get a 50-50 mix is if you have it upside down as a liquid coming out. If you went the other way and it was up on vapor, it would just be whatever vapor was hottest would come out, and so it wouldn't be a 50-50 blend. You want it to come out the same way it's supposed to be, which is mixed correctly, and that's the only way to get it if you're upside down as a liquid. So anyway, that's why it's upside down, and I got to turn that bottle on, and this thing here should be on. And I'll zero it out again once I'm done with this. So I got this thing here set to off. Hopefully it's all tightened up. I got this thing here opened all the way up, so the valve core is not being depressed right now. It's undepressed. So the charging valve's in there and it's undepressed. This is shut off, so I'm going to get the air that's in this line. I'm going to release it first. Okay, so I'm going to release it right here once I open this up. Hopefully none of the hoses are leaking or anything else. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and just turn the bottle and open up the refrigerant. Okay, we'll let that settle down there, and then we'll go ahead and reset it to 0. The problem with the shaking is the system's on. You have to have it on cooling mode. I have it in cooling mode, turbo fan, and 60 degrees, so you want it as cold as possible. Heat mode is high pressure. Cool mode is the lesser of the pressure, and that'll help drag it into the system. So I have refrigerant now coming towards the hose here, but it's filled with air. So I want to get rid of the air first. So I want to open this up a little bit here and release it. Okay, so that's all the air gone now. And let me try one more time just to make sure. Seems to be coming out of here somewhere. Maybe not. Could be an optical illusion. I'll find out in a second, right? Okay. So all the air is gone. All the air is gone. It's just refrigerant now. The most important part is not putting air into your system. So I'm just... Okay, there we go. Now we're on pure refrigerant. You want to make sure there's no air that you're releasing it to here. When we're doing a deep vacuum, you're trying to get every little tiny molecule of air and non-condensables out of there. So when you go to put something else into a clean system, a contained system, you want to be introducing any air whatsoever. So right now you saw how frozen I got. That is pure refrigerant now. You got rid of all the air. You got to double check you're getting rid of all the air. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and depress the valve core. Now the valve core is fully depressed. Now I have access to the unit through here. So I'm going to go ahead and set this again on 0. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I'm trying to set it up so you can see it, but I don't know if it's working or not. It's hard to tell as you can see. So anyway, I'll set it to 0, and then I'm going to, now I'm going to add 2 ounces of refrigerant. Okay, so this is being set to ounces right now. Yes, set to ounces. And now I'm going to just double check all that. Now I'm going to add 2 ounces. Perfect. 1.8 ounces. Okay, 2 ounces. That's perfect. So it goes fast. So you got to watch yourself. Okay, just make sure you're in control the whole time. I could probably add a little bit more, but 1.8 ounces is pretty close to where I wanted to be. So I'm going to go ahead and check this out and see if I got any. If I gained the extra coolness that I thought I needed from my unit. I'll bring you back. Okay, I gained about half of what I wanted. And so I thought I needed 4 ounces, but I wanted to err on the side of caution. You should never overfill your system, because it's super important to never add refrigerant in unless you need it, because it could be some other problem, and you're introducing a problem by adding extra refrigerant. You have an accumulator on the side of your compressor, and if you overload the accumulator, it'll put raw or liquid refrigerant into your compressor and just slug it out and kill it. So you want the compressor is only supposed to be having high pressure vapor, and that's what the accumulator helps to do. And it keeps all the regular refrigerant, the liquid refrigerant, inside the accumulator. But if you overfill it, that's what screws up your system. So you never want to do that. So I'm at 1.8. I wanted to go to a 4.0, and so I'm going to go ahead and add 2 more ounces. Okay, that's probably better. That's where I thought I was supposed to be at, and so we'll just see if that does it. Okay, it worked out perfect. I wound up getting 4.4 ounces in there, and everything's great. It's reading just perfectly, I think. I think you should expect like a 30 point swing. It's 95 degrees. I'm going to show you all this stuff here in a second, but it's 95 degrees inside the shed, and I got 65 coming out of it. So I don't know if you can expect more than a 30-pound swing, a 30-point swing. I think that's pretty darn good. So anyway, I think we did it exactly perfect, and so I'm going to show you how to shut it down now at this point. Okay, at this point there's refrigerant still coming from the bottle all the way over to here, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is turn off the refrigerant, okay? So that's the first thing, to shut off the bottle, all right? Second thing we're going to do is undo this Schrader valve. Right now it's being pushed in, and it's allowing access to the system, and I don't want that allow access anymore, so I'm going to undo it and get it out of the system. So by undepressing the Schrader valve, it'll no longer have access to the system. Okay. Now, again, what that is, the Schrader valve, again, you think of the Schrader valve as like when we were kids, we had inner tubes, and you blow it up, and it's real big and fat inner tube, and you push it on the Schrader valve, that's what it does. So it's the same point here. This is pushing on it, and it allowed access in, and now I undid it, so I undepressed it. So now it's no longer a Schrader valve, still sitting in there, everything's perfect now, and no longer has connection. Now we do have some refrigerant all the way in this whole line, and that's just too bad. It's called de minimis. There's nothing we can do about it. You can't get it back in the tank. You can't put it in here. It's called the de minimis loss. And so what we're going to do is just go ahead and release it. Okay, there's just a little bit, and so it's released. Okay, we're going to go right here. You ready? There's nothing you can do about that. All right, so that's set up for there. And now oh, that hurt. That was just shocking. Now we just go ahead and release this. We're all done. We'll go ahead and wrap it back up, and we're all ready to go. Okay, so that's how you do it. And if you have any questions, put them down below. I'll walk you through anything in case I skipped a step or something that you need to know about, or I went too fast. Just let me know, and we'll work it out. Okay. Okay, it's 64 degrees Fahrenheit, and right now it's 95 degrees inside here, inside the shed. So it's about 30 pounds. It's a 30-point swing of that. So I think that's pretty darn good for a mini split. You know, they're somewhere between 20 and 30, and this is 30. So I think it's pretty darn good. You got 64 and 95. So that's good. And I'll take you over here to this. The hose is just a regular yellow hose. You can take it right off your manifold gauge if you have one, or use your one of your ones from your nitrogen bottle or nitrogen regulator. I have it set for that, and you don't have to get a valve if you don't want. You can use the valve core removal tool as your valve. Okay, you can just set up your charging valve and then put your valve core removal tool right on it and control the refrigerant with the valve core removal tool. Okay, or just go ahead and hook this straight up to that too. So that's what I did. I just hooked this straight up to there, and we're good to go. All right, so you have a couple different choices there. We'll go from there. As far as these things here supposedly read your what temperature is. I never found them to be very accurate. The most accurate one I found is a little $10 meat thermometer one. And it says it's 61 in here now, and so that's pretty darn good. It's a good swing. Okay, from 61 to 95. So let's do. Okay, I'll get you a little closer to the scale, and I just went ahead and put this here so you guys could see it. I'm not even sure if you could see it, but I was trying for you. I even put a little thing there to get the angle going a little bit. But I don't know if it panned out or not. But anyway, what you do is you turn it on, and then you set this thing here to 0. You zero it out. You can set it to what you want, ounces or pounds or whatever on that. And then of course they have a little lamp button, so you can do that and set it up that way. It doesn't stay on very long. I wish it stayed on until you turn it off, but it doesn't, so that's valueless. Anyway, the scale itself is fine. This is a Vivo Home. I got a couple of them, but this one works just as good as the rest. I got Vivor and the Vivo Home, and I got one other, I think Elitech. They all work the same. I think they're all probably manufactured by the same person. They're all relatively the same price too, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, yeah, so if you have any questions, put them down below, and we'll go from there. Also, a little more information on the R410A. I'm pretty sure I said that during our video taping, but I might have, said something wrong, so let me just double check that everything's correct. The R410A is a blend refrigerant. It is 50-50 of R32 and R1234, I believe. Why? Anyway, the refrigerant, the only way you can get it out as a 50-50 mix, which it is to turn it upside down and come out in liquid form. If you have it standing up the other way, it'll come out in vapor and it will not be mixed correctly. It'll be whatever vapor is hottest at the moment. And so you don't know what you're getting. So the only way to do it correctly is to do it upside down. Okay? Okay, it's 95 degrees in here, and this thing's putting out 57. So that's pretty good. $38-degree swing. 38-degree swing's pretty darn good. Okay? So apparently our refrigerant worked perfectly.